What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Buzz. Renato Moicano believes Tom Aspinall could have continued fighting after the eye poke incident, but chose not to, and that decision, he says, may have been driven more by business logic than injury concern. According to Moano, Aspinall made a calculated move to protect his championship status. By not risking further damage and ending the fight early, the heavyweight champion ensured he would remain the title holder, securing his pay-per-view points and leverage for a lucrative rematch. If the fight had been ruled a loss, those financial benefits could have vanished. Moano explained that this wasn't just about safety, it was a smart financial strategy, one that only a champion in Aspinall's position could afford to make. If it were Cyril Gane, he would have kept fighting, Moano said, because if he stopped, he wouldn't get another title shot. But Aspinall is the champion. He's already going to make money as the champion. So yes, he could have fought, but he chose not to. It was a business decision. While Moano acknowledged that Aspinall was likely hurt and struggling to see from his injured eye, he also pointed out that some fighters push through similar situations. Still, he admitted that facing a striker as dangerous as Cyril Gane with impaired vision would have been extremely risky. You fight a heavyweight like Gane with one eye, you'll get knocked out, Moano said. Meanwhile, Aspinall's father, Andy Aspinall, has publicly demanded the UFC take action to prevent such injuries from happening again. He's calling for a redesign of UFC gloves and stricter rules on eye pokes, warning that next time, the outcome could be catastrophic. Andy revealed that doctors warned them of the potential for serious internal eye damage, saying a single kick to the head after the poke could have caused a retinal tear or permanent vision loss. With the controversy surrounding the incident growing, many are now urging the UFC to finally take eye poke safety more seriously. The much-anticipated rematch between Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gane is reportedly being targeted for either UFC 323 in December or January 2026. A bout that could settle both the sporting and business debates once and for all. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for latest MMA updates. We truly value your support and need your help to grow. Move on to another news. In a recent interview with Sky Sports, Dan Hooker made it clear that he's done being known as just the exciting guy on the fight card. The New Zealand lightweight has his eyes firmly set on UFC gold, and says his next move is about positioning himself for the title, not chasing crowd-pleasing wars. Hooker explained that's exactly why he isn't targeting Justin Gaethje next, bluntly stating that Gaethje isn't that guy to get him closer to a championship opportunity. Instead, Hooker believes the true path to the belt runs through Arman Tsarukyan. Hooker elaborated on the difference between fighting for entertainment and fighting for legacy. If I beat Gaethje, it's just another fun fight, he said. That's all it is. A great show, great knockouts, maybe a bonus. But what does that do for me long term? He emphasized that there was a time in his career when being the highlight reel fighter was enough, but those days are gone. There were moments when I just wanted to be that exciting guy, the knockout artist, the fan favorite. But you get there. You main event, you entertain, and then you realize you want more. You want the belt. When asked directly about Gaethje, Hooker didn't hold back. Justin Gaethje is not that guy. Fighting him doesn't get me closer to the title. It just gets me a headache and maybe a bigger paycheck. That's not what I'm chasing anymore. Arman Tsarukyan is the fight that matters. Hooker also gave a glimpse into his mindset, saying he refuses to fake a persona or act like someone else to win over fans or media attention. Taking aim at the Colby Covington approach, Hooker said, "I'd rather be hated for being myself than loved for pretending to be someone I'm not." The Hangman is set to face Tsarukyan at UFC Qatar this November in a pivotal matchup that could determine the next title challenger for Ilia Topuria's belt, assuming El Matador remains at lightweight and doesn't move up to challenge Islam Makhachev at 170. Hooker's message is simple. He's focused, mature, and determined to turn his reputation as an entertainer into that of a serious title contender. Move on to another news. UFC legend Glover Teixeira recently voiced his disappointment with Khamzat Chimaev's training habits during an appearance on RJ Clifford's UFC Glory Days podcast. While Teixeira praised Chimaev's fighting abilities and charisma, he didn't hold back on one major criticism: the way the undefeated star chooses his sparring partners. He's a great fighter, Teixeira said. "I like the way he talks, and he backs it up. He shows up and performs every time. But if there's one thing I don't like about Khamzat, it's how he spars. I've seen him go hard against guys who are nowhere near his level." According to Teixeira, Chimaev's habit of dominating less skilled training partners might hurt his growth as a fighter and reflect poorly on his sportsmanship. The Brazilian veteran emphasized that elite fighters should push themselves by sparring with high-level opponents who challenge their limits, not by outclassing lower-tier training partners. Despite the criticism, Teixeira made it clear he still respects Chimaev's overall skill and personality. "He's amazing," he added. "He's got great talent, he's exciting to watch, and he's even good on the microphone. But when I see him beating up guys who clearly can't match his level, I just don't like that. That's not how a champion should train." Chimaev, who remains one of the UFC's most polarizing figures, has built a reputation for his aggressive, all-action style inside the octagon. However, Teixeira's remarks highlight a growing concern within the MMA community that the Chechen-born contender may be developing bad habits outside of fight night. The comments have since sparked debate among fans, with some agreeing that Chimaev should test himself against tougher sparring partners, while others argue his intensity is simply part of what makes him so dangerous. Regardless, Teixeira's critique adds another layer to the ongoing discussion about how rising stars handle success and preparation at the highest level of the sport. Move on to another news. In a surprising development, reports from a Russian podcast have suggested that undefeated UFC welterweight contender White. The revelation came from Aksala Hufu, a close friend of Rakhmonov, during an episode of Nisa TV documentary. According to Hufu, Rakhmonov's decision followed a combination of injuries and deep frustration with the UFC's handling of title opportunities. Despite his dominant record and a close victory over Ian Machado Gary, Rakhmonov has not competed in over a year. Hufu claimed that the fighter grew increasingly disillusioned with the promotion's preference for big-name fighters over those who have earned title shots through merit. After his last fight and the injuries that came after, he just lost interest, Hufu explained. He's been training, yes, but not to compete again. He feels there's no clear path to a title unless you're already a star. That's not the sport he fell in love with. Hufu went on to say that even if Rakhmonov were to return, it would take at least another 6 months before he could fight for a title. By then, he said, it would be a year and a half since his last appearance in the octagon. Shavkat doesn't see the point anymore. I'm telling you, he will not fight again. When asked for comment, UFC CEO Dana White offered a diplomatic response acknowledging the unpredictability of the sport. "In this business, you never know what's going to happen," White said. "At some point, every fighter has to do what's right for them and their families. If this is Shavkat's decision, I wish him the best." The retirement news comes amid rumors that Rakhmonov was once in talks to face Kamaru Usman in a title eliminator, a fight that ultimately never materialized. Usman later went on to fight and defeat Joaquin Buckley, leaving fans to wonder what might have been. If confirmed, Rakhmonov's exit marks a major loss for the UFC welterweight division. The Kazakh star's undefeated streak and relentless style had many predicting a future champion. For now, fans can only hope this retirement is temporary and that Nomad finds his way back to the octagon someday. Move on to another news. Jon Jones is at it again, continuing his trolling spree against Tom Aspinall following the controversial eye poke incident at UFC 321. A few days ago, Jones updated his Twitter profile picture from a simple duck to a duck wearing an eye patch, a direct jab at Aspinall's injury. But that was only the beginning. At last night's Dirty Boxing weigh-ins in Nashville, Jones took things to a whole new level. Arriving at the venue in pure Jon Jones fashion, he made an entrance no one saw coming, riding in on a horse. But this wasn't just any horse. Fans immediately noticed that the horse too was wearing an eye patch. The symbolism was impossible to miss, and Jones made sure everyone caught it. As cameras rolled, Jones greeted the crowd with his trademark confidence and a smirk. "What's up, Nashville, Tennessee? How do you top this entrance?" he joked to the schmo during a quick ringside interview. "We got the beautiful horse with the eye patch, and we're ready to have a good night." The crowd erupted as Jones leaned into the playful mockery, clearly enjoying the attention and the ongoing narrative surrounding his rivalry with Aspinall. Whether it was harmless fun or a calculated psychological jab, one thing was certain: Jones knew exactly how to keep the spotlight on himself. This latest stunt adds to the ongoing tension between the two fighters. Aspinall, currently recovering from the eye injury sustained during his controversial bout, has yet to publicly respond to Jones' antics. However, fans on social media were quick to weigh in, with reactions ranging from amusement to criticism. Some praised Jones' sense of humor, while others called the move disrespectful, especially considering the severity of Aspinall's injury. Regardless of which side fans are on, the rivalry between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall continues to dominate MMA headlines. Jones' ability to blend showmanship with subtle mind games remains unmatched. As the MMA community waits for Aspinall's recovery and possible future matchups, one thing's clear. Jon Jones isn't backing down from the spotlight anytime soon. Move on to another news. During a recent discussion about Jon Jones, Olympic wrestling champion Abdulrashid Sadulaev revealed an unexpected story involving Khabib Nurmagomedov and UFC president Dana White. Sadulaev explained that Khabib once offered the UFC a fight between him and Jon Jones for $500,000. According to Sadulaev, the conversation began casually while Khabib was sitting next to Dana White. "I was talking to Dana," Sadulaev recalled, and Khabib jumped in, saying, "Come on, do a fight." I asked, "Against who?" And he replied, "What's the difference?" "Whoever it is." I said, "Of course there's a difference. Who would I fight, and what's the pay?" Khabib said, $500,000. I asked again, "Who's the opponent?" He smiled and said, "Jon Jones." He smiled and said. Sadulaev laughed at the suggestion, calling it unrealistic. "Jon Jones is a legend," he said. $500,000 for that kind of fight isn't serious money. I told them, "Why are you undervaluing me?" We all joked about it, and I said, "All right, I'll think about it." The conversation might have been lighthearted, but what happened next made it even more surprising. The very next day, Jon Jones announced he was retiring from MMA. Sadulaev joked, "I told Khabib we probably shouldn't have started that conversation. Maybe we scared him off." While clearly made in jest, the exchange offers a glimpse into Khabib's playful side and the level of respect both he and Sadulaev have for Jon Jones. The idea of a wrestler of Sadulaev's caliber stepping into the octagon against a legend like Jones may sound far-fetched. But it's the kind of dream matchup that sparks endless debate among combat sports fans. Even though this fight was never close to becoming reality, the story highlights Khabib's influence in the fight world and the way he enjoys mixing humor with his deep passion for competition. For now, it remains an entertaining what-if moment, one that briefly linked the worlds of Olympic wrestling and UFC greatness.